Hello friends, welcome back to the 7th lecture of fluid mechanics. Myself Praveen Chadha, Assistant Professor in Mechanical Engineering Department, Shraddha Institute of Technology, College of Engineering, Etra. So we are going to discuss, we are going to start with the chapter number 1, that is basics in fluid mechanics. So in this chapter we are going to discuss about the basic properties of fluid mechanics. So the learning objectives of today's lecture is to know importance of fluid mechanics, why it is essential to learn about the fluid mechanics, and second objective is to know various properties of fluid mechanics which are essential. Okay, now after the successful completion of this lecture you will be able to know the basic concepts of fluid mechanics, as well as you can understand what is the need of fluid mechanics, and also you will be able to explain about properties of fluid mechanics. So these are the two learning objectives can be achieved at the end of this lecture. Now it starts with the fluid mechanics. Already last 5 or 6 lectures we continuously discussed about fluid mechanics and what we are going to learn in the subject of fluid mechanics. So once again I will just brief you about the introduction of fluid mechanics. What is fluid mechanics? Consists fluid. Fluid is nothing but substance that continuously deform under the applied shear stress. And mechanics, it is the science concerned with behavior of physical bodies when subjected to forces. So in general, fluid mechanics is nothing but the science that deals with the behavior of fluids at rest, at motion, and their subsequent effect on the surrounding environment. That is nothing but fluid mechanics, and this is about the basic theory of fluid mechanics. Now we are going to discuss about the area of fluid mechanics. So in a traditional approach, fluid mechanics is highly essential for design of all fluid operated equipments, starts from heaviest turbine to the simple pump. So fluid mechanics is essential for design of pumps, in a design of compressor, in a design of dam and canal, in a design of piping and ducting in chemical plants, then design of aerodynamics in aeroplanes and automobiles. These are the some briefs, traditional approaches. As I said, fluid mechanics is used to design any kind of equipment which is either operated by the fluid or operated for the fluid. All equipments design comes across the fluid mechanics. Not only in the design considerations, but fluid mechanics is highly essential for the analysis of effect of fluid flow over the different entities, that is over the structure. For example, fluid impact of fluid flow over a steady structure, like that. So that's why fluid mechanics has these are the traditional approaches. Along with that traditional approaches, currently or nowadays, uh, fluid mechanics is highly essential to study about the aerodynamics of multi-storage building, atmosphere, sports, and microfluids. I will give you one example related with the importance of fluid mechanics. In Norway, there is the maximum hilly region, just like in our Himachal Pradesh in India. So in Norway, for transportation purpose, many peoples or many region, they are using ropeway instead of roadway, because construction of road and maintaining it in a good operating condition, it is highly difficult in a hilly regions. So that's why instead of roadway they are using ropeway for the transportation purpose. But during the operational conditions, they have observed that some accidents were happened due to the oscillations of trolleys due to the air force. So this is the new emerging area or problem or approach, because previously nowhere the transportation purpose, nowhere we are using the ropeways, but nowadays at many hilly regions people preferring the ropeways. Even for tourism point of view also the ropeways are important, but it prones towards the accident. Why? Because of high wind velocity, the ropeway starts ropeway trolley starts to oscillate when it reaches to the middle, and the oscillation point goes on increases in a such a way that after certain period of time it takes half turn, like at exactly it rotates up to the 180 degree, which results in a severe accident. Why it is happened so? This is happened because of the interaction between fluid and solid. The trolley is in a solid body, fluid is in a air is in a fluid. When this fluid is interact over the solid, at that time body, due to the interaction of wind, the trolley moves from its position. As soon as its position changes, the velocity of air increases due to the decreases, and pressure increases, pressure decreases due to the excessive space, and which results in a this will results in a development of oscillations of trolley, that is increase and decrease in force results in a oscillations of trolley. So this is the major problem which is currently they facing, and over that they try to find out the solutions. Similar way, there are n number of newly developed problems or approaches with respect to the fluid dynamics. So that part we are going to discuss, or for this area point of view, fluid mechanics is highly essential. Now we are going to discuss about the fluid properties. Some properties we are going to discuss which are inbuilt in the fluid, that is mass density of fluid, then specific weight of fluid, specific volume, then specific gravity, and some are with respect to viscosity, then surface tension, then vapor pressure, and capillary action or capillarity. So these are the fluid properties we are going to discuss in this chapter. Mass density, what is meant by mass density, rho, specific weight W, specific volume V, and specific gravity G. So that we will see in detail in next lecture, next point slides. As well as we are going to discuss about the viscosity, surface tension, vapor pressure, and capillary actions, as well as cavitation. Okay, so we'll start with the density. What is density? Density or mass density of fluid is defined as the ratio of mass of the fluid to its volume, and it is denoted by the symbol rho. So mathematically, mass density can be written as mass of fluid divided by volume of fluid. It is similar like to the solid. In a solid also we are measuring the density as density is equals to mass divided by volume. So here we are going to consider mass of fluid divided by mass of volume. The value of density of water is 1000 kg per meter cube. For mercury it is 13,600 kg per meter cube, and for air it is considered as the value of density is 1 kg per meter cube. So density is dependent on mass and its volume. The unit of density or mass density is kg per meter cube as per the SI unit. Okay. Related with the density, some principles are required to be considered. If you pack more mass into the same volume, it is more dense. A decreases in mass will decrease the density, increase in mass increases the density. So density is directly proportional to the mass of fluid, whereas if you pack the same mass into a smaller volume, it will be more dense. That is, increase in volume will decrease in density, and decrease in volume will increase in density. That is, density is inversely proportional to the volume of fluid when mass is constant. Now see here, if an object is less dense, then it will float over the water. It will float over the water. And if the object is more dense, then it will sink in the water. It will sink in the water. So take this example of plastic cup. It will be float over the water due to its low density than the water. Whereas if you put the coin, it will get down inside the water. So this is the effect of density. In last lecture only I have taken the example of ship, that why ship is able to carry the mass of thousands of ton over the water. The reason is same. Only you have to design ship in such a way that it should be more denser it should be less denser than the water over the area. That's why that transportation ships are of very big size. Now here we have taken one example, 1 kg of iron and 1 kg of cotton. Now which is heavier, which has the highest weight? No, cotton is also of 1 kg, iron is also of 1 kg. But if I put it in the water, then what will happen? May cotton will float over the water, whereas iron ball will directly fall down in the water. Why it is happen so? Because of its volume. 1 kg of iron having a strong molecular bonding, that's why it will be dumped down in the water, whereas 1 kg of cotton has a very less or small molecular attraction between the surfaces, that's why it will not dump down inside the water, or its density is very less. So closely packed atoms of material is more denser than the loosely packed. Okay, so density is directly proportional to mass and inversely proportional to the volume. Okay, now again, salt water is more dense than the fresh water. Why it is so? Or generally we are observing that sea water is more dense, or even for our daily usage also we are saying that don't use too dense water for the drinking purpose. So the basically salt water is more denser than the fresh water, because increasing the mass of adding salt increases the density of water also. So that's why sea water is little bit more dense than the fresh water. So it sinks beneath fresh water. This means that when river flow out into the sea, the river's fresh water floats on the top of the sea water. So this is the example which they have shown at here. A river water is flowing above, sea water goes down. When salt is dissolved in the water, as it is in ocean water, then salt added to the mass of the water and makes the water more denser. Then why not air balloon is rises? What happens with this? Have you seen? I think practically, physically, even it is not seen by you, but somewhere in the pictures and films you have observed that floating balloons. They created a balloon and they put out the fire inside the balloon, and then balloon starts to float over the air. And if you want to get down, then you have to stop the fire, and then slowly balloon will get down. Why does happen so, and what is happens with the balloon? Actually, in that it initially balloon is filled with the cold air. Due to the cold air, though surrounding air temperature and air filled inside the balloon is of same temperature, same intensity, same density, and that is why it does not float over the air. But as soon as you put the heat, the molecular attraction between the air gets decreases, the intensity of the density of air inside the balloon is decreases, due to which it tries to float in upward, or tries to move in upward direction, that is it is in a less denser region, and that's why balloon starts to flow. Now effect of pressure and temperature on density. Just now with this example only I give the idea about what is the effect of pressure. The density of subsequent general depends on the temperature and pressure. If the density of most gases is proportional to the pressure and inversely proportional to the temperature. For air, as soon as you given the additional temperature, density goes on decreases. That is, in general, I can say that for air or for any fluid purpose, as temperature goes on increases, intermolecular attraction goes on decreases, and that's why density also goes on decreases. Whereas on any fluid, if you apply the pressure, due to the pressure, intermolecular attraction between, or intermolecular bonding between the substance goes on increases, and that's why as pressure goes on increases, density will also goes on increases. So it is directly proportional. Now this is about the density of matter. Low tightly packed matter is amount of amount of mass in a given space. For example, gases, liquid and solid is explained with the help of figure at here. As we moving towards the solid, the amount of molecules goes on increases, and that's why its density is high. For air, density is considered as 1.2 kg per meter cube. For hydrogen, it is 0.0810 kg per meter cube. For oxygen, it is more denser than the free air, that is 1.43 kg per meter cube. And for carbon dioxide, it's 1.96 kg per meter cube. Again, in a liquid, the density of water is 1000. For mercury, it is 13,600 kg per meter cube. If you have observed on the petrol pump, you will observe that the fuel pump density of petrol is in between 715 to 785, whereas density of diesel is in between 850 to 875. Again, alcohol is also less denser than the water. Its density is 789 kg per meter cube. In a solid, steel having the density of 7500, aluminum is lighter material whose density is equals to 2700, whereas for uranium it is of more dense, having density of 18,800 kg per meter cube, which is more than the steel and aluminum. So this is about the density. Now we are going to discuss about the specific weight. What is specific weight? Specific weight or weight density of fluid is the ratio between the weight of fluid to its volume. See, understand the difference. Mass density is nothing but the ratio of mass of fluid to the volume. Weight density or specific weight is nothing but weight of fluid to the volume of fluid. So here the difference is that in a mass density, if you multiplied it with the gravitation acceleration due to gravity, then it is called as a specific weight. Okay, so mathematically weight density or specific weight can be given as weight of fluid divided by volume of fluid. So it is equals to mass of fluid into acceleration due to gravity divided by volume of fluid. So it is equals to mass of fluid into g divided by volume of fluid. So it is equals to rho into g. So W or mass density, specific weight or weight density can be given as W is equals to rho by g. The unit for specific weight or weight density is Newton per meter cube. Unit is Newton per meter cube. How it comes? Because W is nothing but rho by g, and rho is nothing but rho into g, where rho is nothing but kg. Rho can be given by kg per meter cube. G is given as Newton per meter square. So it is converted into Newton. Rho is given in kg per meter cube. G is given in Newton per meter square. So finally it comes is equals to Newton per meter cube. The specific volume of fluid is defined as the volume of a fluid occupied by a unit mass, or volume per unit mass of a fluid is called as a specific volume. So specific volume can be given as volume of fluid divided by mass of fluid. So it is nothing but 1 upon mass of fluid into volume divided by volume. So it is nothing but 1 by rho. So the specific volume is nothing but reciprocal of mass density. Thus specific volume is reciprocal of mass density, and it is expressed in meter cube per kg. It is commonly applied for the gases. Then specific gravity or relative density. Specific gravity for a fluid S is equal to specific weight of given fluid divided by specific weight of standard fluid. So S for liquid is equals to specific weight of given fluid divided by specific weight of water, and S is equals to density of given fluid divided by density of water. In case 2, S for gases is nothing but specific weight of given fluid divided by the specific weight of air, or S is equals to density of given fluid divided by density of air. Since it is the ratio of two specific weights or two mass densities, so therefore it's a unitless quantity. Okay, so here in a specific gravity we are taking the ratio. Standards fluids we are going to consider as, in a liquid, water is considered as a standard because it is universally available, as well as air is considered as a standard since it is universally available. So we are going to consider air and water as a standard in a fluid for gases and liquid, whereas therefore the specific gravity can be calculated with respect to water for the liquid and with respect to air for the gases fluid. Okay, now relative density or specific gravity. Relative density is nothing but mass of any volume of substance divided by mass of an equal volume of water. Mass of any volume of substance divided by mass of an equal volume of water. So relative density of steel is nothing but steel having density of 7800 kg per meter cube, water has 1000 kg per meter cube, so relative density is 7.8 for the steel. Whereas for wood has the density of 500 kg per meter cube, water has density of 1000 kg per meter cube, and therefore relative density is 0.5. Now if the relative density is more than 1, then object will sink in a water. If relative density is less than 1, then object will 100% floats on the water. In this example also, the steel ball having this relative density 7.8, that's why it sinks down, whereas for wood it has the 0.5, so partial wood part is sunk or dipped inside the water and remaining wooden part is floating over the water. So overall object is floating over the water. If it is equals to 1, then it nearly about, or we can say that object will nearly about deep inside the water. Okay, or partial part of it may float over the above. So for floating and sinking, we can say that density of substance is less than density of solvent, and the substance is less dense than the solvent, then it is called as example of floating. Whereas for sinking, density of substance is greater than the density of solvent, or substance is more dense than the solvent. In that case, it will dump down. Again, the example is wood is floating over the water, whereas metal coil sinks inside the water. Now here are some important formulas with respect to density or mass density or specific mass, rho. So rho can be given as rho is equals to m by v, mass of fluid divided by volume of fluid. So mass density is given as rho is equals to m by v. Specific volume v can be given as volume of fluid divided by mass of fluid, fluid, and the specific weight or weight density can be given as weight of fluid divided by volume of fluid. It is equals to rho into g. Specific gravity can be given as weight of density of fluid divided by weight of density of standard fluid. That is, if it is gas, then standard fluid is water. If it is liquid, then standard fluid is water, and if it is gas, then standard fluid is air. So here we have taken some numericals. So calculate the specific weight, density and specific gravity of 1 liter of liquid which weighs 7 Newton. Okay, now here initially, as we studied previously, we have to convert volume into meter cube, liter into meter cube. So volume of 1 liter can be given as 1 by 1000 meter cube, and weight is 7 Newton. These are the given entities. So depending on that, we know that specific weight is nothing but weight divided by volume. So it is 7 divided by 1 divided by 1000. So it is nothing but 7000 Newton per meter cube about the specific weight. Similarly, specific weight can be given as W is equals to rho by G. So density can be given as rho is equals to W by G. So it is nothing but 7000 divided by 9.81. So it is equals to 713.5 kg per meter cube. And the third part is specific weight, S. So specific weight can be given as density of liquid divided by density of water. So the density of liquid here, it is equals to 713.5, and density of water is 1000. So therefore the specific gravity of the fluid is 0.7135. 5. Okay. Again, another one example where we are going to discuss about the calculate density, specific weight and weight of 1 liter of petrol of specific gravity 0.7. So here we have taken fluid as a petrol. So in volume 1 liter is nothing but again 1 divided by 1000. So it will be given as equals to 0.001 meter cube. Specific gravity S is equals to 0.7. So S can be given as density of given fluid divided by density of water. Specific gravity is equals to density of petrol divided by density of water. Now we know that density rho is equals to S into 1000 is equals to 700 kg per meter cube. So specific weight is equals to 6867 Newton per meter square, and therefore weight can be given as weight upon volume. So it is equals to 6.867 Newton. Okay, this problem you can look once again. Only from the given entities we have calculated specific density, specific gravity S is given. So from that we have calculated density. Once we get the density, we have calculated specific weight, and from specific weight we have calculated weight. So by that weight comes is equal to 6.867 Newton. Okay, here we conclude with this lecture about the density as a property of fluid. The remaining properties of fluid which we have listed in a previous slide we'll discuss in the next lecture. Thank you.